Sa anong punto kayo nakumbinsi na kailangan sampahan ng kaso na ang dating speaker at dating kongresista na si Ginoong Ko?
Kay Mr. President, magandang gabi po. Maraming salamat. Kay former Congressman Zaldico po, ito po ay unang refer na ng ICI at ng DPWH nung, kung di ako nagkakamali po, end of September or a few weeks after mabuo ang ICI, nag-refer po kami sa Ombudsman, Office of the Ombudsman ng referral to file cases on the projects in Oriental Mindoro involving SunWest Corporation. At in fact, ito din po ang unang kasong final ng Office of the Ombudsman itong nakaraang linggo sa Sandigan Bayan na kinagabasan na rin po ng warrants of arrest laban kay former Congressman Zaldico at sa iba't iba pang mga opisyales ng DPWH at ng iba pang mga private individuals. So at that point po, base sa inspeksyon na ginawa namin nung nandun po ako sa Mindoro kasama ni Governor Bons Dolor, at sa ebidensyang nakalap na ipinasa po namin sa ICI nung ito ay nabuo, doon po namin sabay na final sa Ombudsman, yung referral na yon. At yun na rin nga po ang unang kasong final sa Sandigan Bayan nitong nakaraang linggo lang.
Yung sa dating speaker, Mr. Secretary, kailan po ito napagpasahan?
Opo, ito po ay siguro po mga ilang linggo lang, itong nakarang ilang linggo lang, base na rin sa mga nakuhang ebidensya ng DPWH at dokumento ng mga proyekto ng SunWest Corporation at ng iba pang korporasyon ni former Congressman Zaldico tulad ng High Tone Corporation across many years, Mr. President, no? At base na rin ito dun sa naging sworn testimony ni Sergeant Gutesa dito sa Senate Blue Ribbon hearing. At base po doon, sinamit po namin yon as facts sa Office of the Ombudsman kasama ng ICI, kasama na rin po nung mga interviews ng ICI kay former Speaker Romualdez, at yun po ang naging basihan nung aming mga rekomendasyon na isinumiti po namin sa Ombudsman nung Biyernes.
At ang kabuuang halaga po nito ay?
Sa aking pagkakaalam ko po, no, ang total from 2016 to 2025 ay mahigit 100 bilyong piso po sa between SunWest Corporation and High Tone Corporation.
Sinama bilang bahagi ng mga ebidensya ang affidavit ni Gutesa o Orly Gutesa. Sa kabila ng pagkakaroon nito ng problema o issue sa notaryo o pagnotaryo na lumabas sa pagdinig ng Senado at gayon din ng mga newspaper reports. Totoo nga po bang kasama ito?
Kasama po. Kasama po ito dun sa facts o datos na ipinasa namin sa Ombudsman nung Biyernes.
Dahil sa kabila po ng issue at problema?
Ayon po sa aming mga abogado, nung pinag-aaralan po ito naman po ay sinumpaan during the Senate Blue Ribbon hearing. At base po doon, isinama po namin ito doon sa aming sinumite sa Ombudsman.
Bilang panghuling katanungan, Mr. Secretary, di po kaila sa publiko ang relasyon ng dating speaker sa Pangulo. May naramdaman po ba kayong anumang pangamba o pagdadalawang isip kaugnay sa ginawa po ninyong paghahain ng kasong ito?
Wala po, Mr. President. Wala po. In fact, sa lahat po ng aking pag-uusap sa ating Pangulo, consistent po siya sa kanyang sinasabi na kung saan po ang ebidensya, doon po tayo pupunta, kahit na sino pa po ang pwedeng maisama. Basta tututok lang po kami sa ebidensya at yun po ang aming isusumite.
Nais ko pong ilagay sa tala ng Senado na binabati ko po ang administrasyon dahil sa hindi sila sumunod o nagpadala sa anumang script o sarsuela para magkaroon ng diversyon at ilihis ang tunay na mga salarin. Tulad ng nasabi ko po, no, ako ay huling tumayo at nagsalita dito sa Senado. Ayon mismo kay Secretary Dizon, wala silang sinundang script at base sa kautusan ng Pangulo, sinundan lamang nila kung saan sila dinadala ng ebidensya. At dahil nga dito, sinampahan na po sina Co, Romualdez, Alcantara, Bernardo, Hernandez at iba pa. Alam kong naging hindi madali ang desisyon ito para sa Pangulong Marcos nang malaman niyang posibleng sangkot ang kanyang pinsan dito sa isyong ito. Subalit, Ginoong Pangulo, nais ko pa rin sabihin na binabati ko ang sigasig ng Pangulo na panagutin ang mga tunay na dapat managot at pagtutol niya sa anumang diversyon dahil madami ng mga inosenteng tao na dadamay sa tangkang paglilihis na ito.
Last two questions, Mr. President. Mr. President, the Supreme Court issued a ruling declaring the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte unconstitutional last July 25, 2025. Am I correct?
That is correct, Mr. President.
And some of our colleagues, some senators, criticized that such decision undermines the separation of powers. Does the chairperson agree with this position, Mr. President?
This representation, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I manifested my position on the floor, and therefore that's on record, Mr. President.
I forgot what was your manifestation, Mr. President.
Well, Mr. President, our position, and we continue to share this position, continue to hold onto this position, is that that we believe that there was judicial overreach. But having said that, we hope that the Supreme Court will reconsider the position that it has taken. In fact, there is a pending motion for reconsideration.
So, in short, you disagreed with the position of the Supreme Court.
That is correct. And as a co-equal branch, we will be respectful. And we have said this too, that in the end, when this is final, when the decision is final and the motion for reconsideration has been disposed of, regardless, as a lawyer, a member of the officer of the court, we will respect whatever ruling the Supreme Court will
All right.
render.
Lastly, I remember, if my memory serves me right, we had an all-senators caucus meeting when Senator Escodero was still the Senate President. And we were discussing about this impending impeachment trial of against Vice President Sara Duterte. And we were discussing a lot of issues, various issues. No? And I overheard you saying that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court. Do you still stand by your statement that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court? Because I am not a lawyer, but I studied law for 4 years, but I really beg to disagree that the impeachment court is higher than the Supreme Court, Mr. President.
Well, it is higher in the sense that a sitting Supreme Court justice can be dismissed on impeachment cases by the impeachment court. In that regard, we are able to hold a Supreme Court justice to account. We render judgment. So it's a novel legal question and legal argument.
You mean to tell this representation that we can summon the justices of the Supreme Court? What if they don't want to appear here? What can we do?
Well, we actually summoned.
Can we just force them to?
We actually
appear before
summoned.
the Senate?
With due respect to our colleague, we actually did have the former Supreme Court justice appear before the impeachment court.
Who?
So,
yeah,
Justice
I know
Corona.
that because it was an impeachment.
and that is the context of why I said that as an impeachment court, we are supreme in our own jurisdiction, and maybe in fact higher than the Supreme Court in that regard when it comes to impeachment processes. Because the supreme law of the land says so, that we have the sole power. Sole, it says sole power. It does not say anything else but sole power to try and decide impeachment cases.
Well, still, I beg to disagree with your opinion. I still believe, in my own thoughts, that the impeachment court is sui generis, and I think the impeachment court is sui generis, and I believe that the Supreme Court is still higher than anyone else, any court in particular, including the impeachment court.
In fact, Mr. President, in the impeachment case of Chief Justice Corona, when the Supreme Court issued a temporary restraining order, an injunction as to the bank accounts, I will remember this because the late Senator Enrile, who was our
Yes.
presiding officer, opted for us to vote on whether or not we would respect the ruling of the Supreme Court. In that regard, the vote was to respect the ruling.
I think that was only a resolution issued by the Supreme Court. It was not a decision.
No, it was a vote by I was there, Mr.
Yes,
President.
I was also there.
Yes,
I
you
was
were
also
there.
part
We
of the-
voted
I was
to
also part of
respect.
the
We
impeachment
voted to
trial.
respect 1210. We voted to respect the Supreme Court ruling.
Yes,
In
I
other
know.
words, we could have voted not to. But of course, that was not the case.
Yes, I know. I was.
And it was an exercise of our exclusive power as an impeachment court.
What if it was adverse to the decision?
Well, that's
of,
speculative,
the decision
Mr.
of the
President.
Supreme Court.
The
What
point
will
is,
happen?
that's speculative, Mr. President. The point is, we voted.
Yes, I
we
know.
did not decide to just respect the Supreme Court ruling. We voted as an impeachment court.
Yes, I
we
was-
exercised our authority as the supreme or the sole power, having the sole power and sole jurisdiction to try cases.
Yes, I was also one of them who voted to respect the decision or the resolution of the Supreme Court not to open the foreign, I think it was the foreign bank accounts of the late Chief Justice Corona. What I'm asking, kung sakasakali, what if the vote was overturned? I mean, 12-10 in favor of not respecting the opinion of the Supreme Court. What will happen?
Well, it's speculative, Mr. President. It didn't happen, so.
Yeah. Being a lawyer, maybe you can educate this representation because I am
Well,
not
also
a lawyer.
being a lawyer, if it's a speculative, if
Maybe we
I'm being
can-
asked to answer a scenario that's speculative, I'd rather wait for the actual case. In this actual, and what I'm citing is the facts that when the Supreme Court ruled to enjoin us from accessing the bank accounts, we opted to vote whether we would respect the Supreme Court ruling or not. That is an exercise of the authority of the impeachment court over the Supreme Court.
Maybe we can ask.
Fortunately, and I think every lawyer must strive to harmonize what may appear to be conflicting provisions of the Constitution. And the Senate then voted 12-10 to respect the ruling of the Supreme Court and harmonize both powers.
Mr. President, if I may, with the two
The
gentlemen.
leaders recognized.
Thank you. Even this last decision of the Supreme Court on Vice President Sara Duterte, we also voted 18-5-1. It was 18 in favor to archive because of the decision of the Supreme Court. So there was also a vote. 5 went against that decision to archive and 1 abstention. That was our presiding officer. So we also voted at that.
And that is the exercise. That is and I agree. That is an exercise of the impeachment court, and therefore, it decided to archive the case in that regard. Oh, sorry. The vote to archive was not done by the impeachment court. It was done in plenary. Yes, so that would be a different set of facts.
All right. Okay, Mr. President. Does the Supreme Court has the authority to review the impeachment proceedings for grave abuse of discretion, for example?
The Supreme Court has the power to exercise. It has the when there is grave abuse of discretion, the Constitution provides that power to the Supreme Court to intervene and to correct what may have been an abuse of authority or power of other branches of government. It's the power of judicial review.
Okay, assuming we convict a impeachable officer, can it be elevated to the Supreme Court? No more.
No.
The decision or the ruling of the impeachment court is final.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Again, maybe you can ask the opinion of maybe the court administrator or the justices of the Supreme Court here present with regard to my question propounded to you, Mr. President, with regard to the who is higher, the Supreme Court or the impeachment court.
Well, I think considering that there is still a motion for reconsideration on the positions taken by the House of Representatives, and there is a pending case, then they would prefer, yes, kulang daw ng 12. Kaya, but kidding aside, it would be sub judice.
Okay. Anyway, that's all, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. Thank you for the justices of the Supreme Court, the court administrator, and to all the justices present here today. Thank you very much.
Senator Lauren.
Thank you very much to the good senator from San Juan. Maraming salamat. Safe na ako.
Safe mga tanong mo.
Gangster, you know, we do that better than anybody. I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils dissolve for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride. Hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live the life of a boss player. Cause even when I'm high, fuck with me and get crossed later.